Hello everyone. So today we'll be discussing about a very important topic which is eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay. So this is a very important topic and questions बहुत आते हैं इससे. So what do you mean by eigenvalues? Let's consider a matrix A. Suppose 4 1 -2 1. ठीक है. This is a matrix. Now, eigenvalues are represented by the sign lambda. So, एक मैट्रिक्स का एक से ज्यादा आइगन वैल्यू हो सकता है. देयर कैन बी मोर देन वन. सो एक आइगन वैल्यू, दो आइगन वैल्यू, तीन आइगन वैल्यू ऐसा हो सकता है. सो वी विल रिप्रेजेंट इट एज lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3. Done. This is the basic thing about eigenvalue. Now there is one important equation which you need to remember, that is called characteristic equation. इसी से हर सवाल आप लोग का सॉल्व होगा. What is it? Characteristic equation? It's nothing but a minus lambda I determinant is equal to 0. Just remember this. Just remember this. A minus lambda I determinant is equal to 0. I क्या है? I is your identity matrix. A is your the matrix which is given and lambda is your eigenvalue. ठीक है? Now let me solve this matrix using this one, this characteristic equation. So let me find out A minus lambda I first. What is A? 4, 1, -2, 1. Right. This is the A matrix. Now minus lambda I. What is I? 1, 0, 0, 1. This is your identity matrix. हम यहाँ पे 3x3 matrix भी ले सकते थे. But why did we take 2x2? Because our given matrix is also in 2x2 matrix. So keep this in mind. Now 4, 1, -2, 1. Lambda 0, 0, lambda. You know the subtraction rule. 4 minus lambda. 1 -2, 1 minus lambda. Okay. Now this is your A minus lambda I. Now the determinant of this is 0. तो इसका determinant हम लोग निकालते हैं. A minus lambda I therefore is equal to 4 minus lambda minus, so this is our value. So since हम लोग का equation है A minus lambda I determinant is equal to 0, so this particular thing will be equal to 0. Okay, so here we can solve it and we'll get so we get here two values, 2 and 3. So if I ask you to find out find the eigenvalues of the matrix A, then the answer will be 2 and 3. So this is how you will find out the values for eigenvalue. Okay, so this is all about eigenvalue. अभी eigenvalue के basis पे दो property याद रख लेना, that will be helpful in finding your answers. What are the properties? Let's say A 4 1 minus 2 1. Right, ये है matrix. The property says that पहला property है sum of diagonal elements equals to sum of all eigenvalues. इसका मतलब क्या है कि यहाँ पे diagonal elements क्या है 4 and 1, तो 4 plus 1 will give you this. And what were the eigenvalues? Those were 2 and 3. So this is 3. So this is what is meant by this property. Right. Now, what is the second property? The second property is determinant of the matrix equals to product of all eigenvalues. Now, what is the product of eigenvalues? What are the values? 2 and 3. So, this is 2 and 3. It must be 6. This must be 6. So, let's see. What is the determinant? 4 minus. So, it's 6. Right. So, you can take a look at this. These are the two properties which you can remember. Right. And this is how I solved it. Right. Now let's move on to eigenvector. What do we mean by eigenvector? आइगेन को क्वेश्चंस में v से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, कभी कभार हम लोग x से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. सो इसके लिए एक इक्वेशन है, आइगेन वैल्यू के लिए एक इक्वेशन देख लिया, इसके लिए एक इक्वेशन, ये दो बस इक्वेशन याद रख लेंगे. वी आर डन विथ एवरी टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन. व्हाट इज दिस? ax is equal to lambda x. Remember this, where x is your eigenvector. If in question v is mentioned, then it will be av is equal to lambda v. If something else is mentioned, accordingly it will change. Okay, using this we can solve any type of questions. अभी questions हम लोग देखते हैं. Let's look at some of the previous year questions. Okay, let's look at this. Question number 63 2025 में आ चुका है. There's a matrix given, there's 3 cross 3 matrix. Eigenvalue दिया हुआ है -2 1 and 2. Value of k निकालने को बोला है. So which property can we use? We can use the first property. What was the first property? Sum of all the diagonal elements 1 plus k plus minus 1, these are the diagonal elements, is equal to sum of the eigenvalues. Right. See, एक लाइन में आंसर निकल गया. So this value of k is 1. Done. 63. Now let's take a look at this 62. 2024 में आ चुका है. सो यहाँ पे लोग क्वेश्चन देख सकते हो कि v वेक्टर दिया गया है जिसको आइगन वेक्टर बोला गया है मैट्रिक्स, ये 3x3 मैट्रिक्स के लिए, और इसके कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग एक आइगन वैल्यू लैम्डा है, उसका वैल्यू हमें निकालना है। नॉन जीरो बोला गया है, सो दिस शुड नॉट बी जीरो। So let's take a look at this. See, V vector is given. So this is the, I have taken A matrix as the 3x3 matrix. Now we know that AV is equal to lambda V. मैंने just कहा कि ये इक्वेशन याद रखने के लिए जब हम लोग आइगन वेक्टर का बात बोलेंगे, so this will be AV is equal to lambda V. A के जगह we have put this matrix, V के जगह we have put this, lambda is as it is and V is again V. So now we have just done matrix multiplication, nothing else. We know matrix is multiplied by row multiplied by column. So this is how I have done the calculation. You can take a look for a minute. Fine, this is the step. So we found this, we equated both sides and we found the value of lambda is 6. So this is your answer, 6. You can pause the video and see. Now come to question number 23, determinant and eigenvalue concept. तो यहाँ पे दोनों concept use होगा. Let's see how to solve this question. 23. Take a minute and look at every step very carefully. This is the matrix which is given, A matrix, right? This is the matrix which is given. You need to find out this. Now we know that characteristic equation for eigenvalue is this, a determinant of A minus lambda I is equal to 0. उसको लिख लो पहले. अभी पहले A मैट्रिक्स दिया हुआ है, जब भी A मैट्रिक्स दिया होगा हम पहले इसको निकाल लेंगे. तो I just first found out A minus lambda I calculated, I found out this. Then I calculated A minus lambda I का determinant. I found out the determinant. Now हमारे characteristic equation से क्या था? A is equal to 0. So I equated, I wrote this in this form. ठीक है? Now look from here carefully, from this step. मैंने क्या लिखा है? Since this satisfies matrix A, मतलब this comes from a theorem which is Cayley-Hamilton theorem. You don't need to remember these words. I'm just saying so that if you want to study more, you can do so. So anyway, since this satisfies matrix A, तो हम लोग lambda के जगह A को put कर सकते हैं. But always remember, when we will equate this equation using matrix A, then यहाँ पे जहाँ 1 है, 1 will take the place of I, identity matrix, because lambda is a value, 1 is a value, A is a matrix, I is a matrix. Easy. So A square is equal to 6A plus I. ठीक है? Now we need to find out, calculate this. Okay, इसका determinant हमें निकालना है. तो पहले हम लोग ये निकाल लेंगे, then we'll find out the determinant. Now just take a look at the calculation that I have done. Yeah. So first I found out A4, A to the power 4, A square लेके we have put the value from here. A square is equal to 6A plus I. Then I calculated every step. Here I square is I. You can take a look. And then again I have put the value here. Okay, I found out this. Now I took the determinant. Okay, this is the value I got, so I have put the value here. Now 241A, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि A plus B का अगर हम लोग determinant लेते हैं, then we can write as this. So I have written it here. ये हो गया. Then 241 is the constant. We took it out of 241 into determinant of A plus 46 into determinant of I. So we have put vector matrix A and matrix I. देन ये क्या होगा, ये मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा. आई मल्टीप्लाइड इट विद एवरीथिंग and then I calculated the determinant and I found out the answer. Now, if you want to match this answer with the answer key of that specific year, this is not the answer. They have given something 1026 something dot something was the answer. Main issue was that they have this is what they asked to find, but the answer which they have given is because they have considered this question square plus 5a minus 6i. अगर आप लोग ये लेके सॉल्व करते हो तब वो आंसर मिलेगा जो आंसर की में दिया हुआ है, यहाँ प्लस लेके यहाँ माइनस लेके. बट क्वेश्चन पेपर में -5a plus 6 1 था. According to this, the answer will be this. Anyway, now let's look at the third question. This was done. This was done. Then this was done. Now let's take a look at this. Question number 39. See, आइगन वेक्टर का कंसेप्ट आएगा यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है सवाल कि एक 2x2 मैट्रिक्स है P, आइगन वैल्यू लैम्डा 1 is 2 एंड लैम्डा 2 is 5. आइगन वेक्टर भी दो दिया गया है. पहला आइगन वेक्टर है x1 is 1 0, दूसरा is 1 1. मैट्रिक्स P क्या होगा? Very easy because we will use this equation. Lambda 1 is 2, this is 5, this both are given. Okay, now see, I told that ax is equal to lambda x. इसको याद रखना, a will be the matrix. यहाँ पे matrix क्या है? P. So I have written P. Now x1 is your eigenvector 1. पहला eigenvector है ये. This is eigenvector x1 and eigenvector x2. So px1 is equal to lambda 1 x1. ये ध्यान रखने की जरूरत है क्योंकि this will correspond to this eigenvalue. This will correspond to this eigenvalue. So I have solved this. I have just basic multiplication and then I found a and c value. Similarly, I found b and d value. So the matrix will be ABCD, which is this one. So this is your answer. Now, yeah, let's come to question number 22. 22 में क्या दिया गया है कि आइगन वैल्यू लिखा है 2x2 मैट्रिक्स का 4 और 2. अगर मान लिया हमने ये लैम्डा 1 है, ये लैम्डा 2 है, तो आइगन वैल्यू ऑफ द मैट्रिक्स P इनवर्स क्या होगा? सो नाउ लेट मी टेल यू अबाउट इनवर्स मैट्रिक्स. अगर कोई मैट्रिक्स A है, ठीक है, वो है 1 2 3 4, इसका डिटर्मिनेंट कितना निकलेगा? दिस इज द डिटर्मिनेंट. सो A इनवर्स का जो डिटर्मिनेंट होगा that will just be the inverse of this. इसका डिटर्मिनेंट ये है. So A inverse matrix का determinant will be just reciprocal of this, which is, so what is the concept? What is the property? Determinant of a matrix is this, where this represents inverse of matrix A. बस इतना याद रखना. अगर डिटर्मिनेंट ऑफ ए और ये इनवर्स रेसिप्रोकल है, अगर ये है, सिमिलरली अगर इसका आइगन वैल्यू लैम्डा 1 और लैम्डा 2 है, इसका आइगन वैल्यू होगा 1 by लैम्डा 1 1 by लैम्डा 2. एग्जैक्टली दिस प्रॉपर्टी. सो इसी प्रॉपर्टी से अगर हम लोग सवाल सॉल्व करते हैं देन क्या आएगा हम लोगों के पास? या सो लैम्डा 1 is 4 और सो P इनवर्स का क्या होगा? 1 by lambda 1, which is 0.25, and the second one is 1 by lambda 2, which is 0.5. So the answer will be 0.25 and 0.5. Okay, so this question is done. Now let's take a look at the last question of this matrices and determinants. The largest eigenvalue of the matrix this is, because as I mentioned that we can have more than one eigenvalue. So what is the largest? So let's take a look at this question. Yeah, see, this is the matrix which was given. I used the characteristic equation. I calculated this. Okay, I found this. So I equated this and I found lambda is equal to 3 and 2. Now just check if both the values are satisfying this equation. दोनों को बैठा के देखना, अगर दोनों से equate हो रहा है and both are the values and the largest value is your answer. So this comprises your entire PYQs ranging from 2025 onwards. Chalo, bye bye.